My name is Josh, from the Queens of the Stone Age, and apparently you're going to be watching and learning more about my band and the crazy freaks that we travel with by watching To Rock. What it really is that, you know, Kyuss, I was in Kyuss since I was 15 years old, and you, from 15 to 21, when the band broke up, that's a long stretch in itself. And then now I'm 27 years old, and the dynamic is important to me. Not that Kyuss didn't have any, but a wider dynamic is what I'm into now. And, you know, heavy doesn't equal distortion. Heavy is a delivery to me. And so I think that we play some heavy songs and some that are more content heavy. And as well, Kyuss used to jam every song. The potential to take it somewhere existed. And I think after a while as well, you want to hear yourself play something that's what it is, you know? We still jam all the time, but we also play songs how they are with subtle differences instead of look at the giant size of this difference all the time. It's more economy. Musical economy, you know? Well, I think we've always been in the anti-scene, like deliberate outsiders a little bit. And I think we're still, you know, in that situation. It doesn't bother me that there's a bunch of rock bands. I mean, everyone should play what they want to play. And they're obviously playing what they want to play. And for me, it means that there's not a lot of bands in the field of what we do, you know? And I would prefer that, actually. It would be worse for me if everyone was sitting in my boat rowing with me, you know? The difference between the records is that our first record was us, you know, saying that, you know, we're not in Kyuss anymore, and that there are similarities between the band, but there will also be differences. And I think our second record is about articulating those differences in a much wider way. And we listen to all types of music, and so we feel like we need to play all types of music too. And but kind of all under one sonic umbrella. First of all, I think, you know, music, like art, should elicit a reaction. I mean, it's not here to be really safe, or I'm not here to be really safe. And in America, it's easier to get everyone riled up. And if you see everyone sitting around going, then for me, I'm tempted to push buttons, and I think things like, you know, it's Nick that plays naked, and it's me that beats myself up, you know, and all the other potentially dangerous things that go on. But I think that the fact that not even we know what's going to happen makes it good. It makes it, there's a chance one of us will get hurt, you know, me, you, Nick, someone, Gene, Brendan, Hutch. There's a chance that something can happen. And I don't think it has to be negative, like hurt either, but something could happen, you know. And that unpredictable side has to happen. Otherwise, it's a little too contrived for me, you know. If I'm lucky enough to be a musician as my job in life, I'm not going to sit around and hop in the box and let someone shut the lid, you know. I'm going to fuck shit up. That's why I'm here, you know. And I think that's what everyone wants to see. If not, I'm wrong. sorry. Yeah. And I think as far as like being known for such things, to me, they're not a big deal. So I think for people that are like we are, it's normal. But for people that are used to sitting in their armchair and people that like it a little more safe, I think for them, it's a big deal. Because for me, this is just walking around, and it's not a big deal. It's just about being alive and playing rock and roll music. Elvis would have done it, you know. Slayer would do it, you know. There you go. Kyuss and Queens allow people to tape our shows, whether audio or video or both. You're doing that tonight, but you're no different than someone that buys a ticket, you know, because the exchanging of music is what should happen. It's one of the only things I like about the Grateful Dead is if you want to take from 67 on June 2nd, you can get one. I probably wouldn't like the music on the tape, but it's still possible. You know, my problem is that people are selling our live shows for too much money. They should be the cost of a video and shipping. And then in turn, MP3 takes a record that I've spent money and time and put so much love into, take it and just give it away. And then, but they make money, MP3 and Napster, they make tons of money. But they say, oh, it's about free exchange. But that sounds like just another jack-off thief in the dark that doesn't have guts enough to admit what they're doing. I mean, you know, and I had someone say something interesting in Canada, in Toronto. They said, well, would you rather have the label fuck you over or the fans fuck you over? And I just said, neither. And when it gets posed to me in such a way, I sit there and think, you know, what am I doing? Maybe I should skip through the countryside playing the flute with my hat on the floor. Because MP3 certainly is like, if you're an unsigned band, then it really helps. But then, you know, I don't want to censor anyone, and I'm no one's daddy. I'm not gonna monitor the internet, you know. But I think there's a moral side to it too. I don't steal from you. You don't steal from me. Seems fair, you know? And I see all the Kyuss guys, John and Scott and Nick and Brant. I see them all over and on tour with Crisscross, and I barbecued at John's house before I left, you know? And I think the fans are keeping the band alive. That's the only reason that East West released that record, because they didn't talk to us and they didn't ask us anything. In fact, I didn't know it was coming out until the week it came out. But it was the fans that made them put it out, and it's them that keep it alive, you know? And so I think it is alive. And no, I don't want it to die. I put everything into that music, and I think the people that like Kyuss like it the way I liked it too. And so, yeah, I hope it lives forever. You try to make a record that maybe 10 years down the line you could still listen to, and maybe in this case, you can. And so I feel it's good to be part of that, you know? And with Queens, I get to play any style of music and anything that I would like, written by whoever, you know? And I think that's where my head is at. My head isn't in Kyuss, you know? I mean, it was destroyed to preserve what it was, you know? And I think that was the right thing to do, or would it still be around at this point, you know? It seems like that was the right thing to do, you know? So, when Kyuss was around, there was no term stoner rock. And after we broke up, I did this compilation for Roadrunner Records. And I'd already finished the track, and I was sitting in this meeting, and they said, well, what are we gonna call it? We should call it stoner rock, and all this, and a couple other ideas, but stoner rock is what stuck. So then Kyuss and the press started merging with this stoner rock idea. But really, to me, it's something created by the press and by a record label, you know? So I don't think Kyuss was a stoner rock band because the term didn't exist. In fact, they were calling us grunge, you know? So it seems to always be off a little bit. And I'm not in a stoner rock band now. So really, if you think about it, I've never been in a stoner rock band. But I have nothing against the scene or anything like that. I just don't think that, sometimes I feel like someone's like, here, we built you this box, jump in there, I'll shut the lid on you. But anyone that's been into Kyuss or that's into Queens knows that that's not good enough. Yeah. Come back in the summertime and play festivals. And what else are we gonna do? We're releasing another EP. And I think when we come back, we're gonna be two drummers. A two-drummer with percussion vibe. Change the lineup again. Keep it interesting for us too. Because by then we'll have been on tour for forever.